Hey guys, how's it going? It's Marvin D'Souza here again. Wanted to talk today about SSL decryption in this video. And so, I just wanted to focus on some of the firewall or Azure Firewall Premium features, right? And today we're going to talk about TLS inspection. So let's get to the demo and see how that looks. So SSL decryption has always been a big ask for a lot of security teams, network teams for different reasons. And so Microsoft Firewall Premium offers you that. So if you go to Firewall Policy 1, so under Firewall Manager, you can have multiple policies. One of the things to keep in mind is with the Premium Firewall, you have to use Firewall Manager to create policies and assign that policy to a firewall. So let's go into Firewall Policy 1 that I have assigned to a firewall. And here you get the overview of the firewall, the IP addresses, things like that. But what I want to focus on in this video is TLS inspection. One of the things we're making really easy is when you hit enable this firewall policy here, you can hit this drop down box here and just create a firewall SSL certificate, that can be used by your firewall for decryption. So your firewall becomes a certificate authority, and you have to install that same certificate on all your endpoints that you want to decrypt traffic for. So when you look at it from this angle here, we're making it really easy for you to do like a trial run, a test. Of course, if you have an existing certificate, it can be uploaded here into Key Vault. And then when you upload it into Azure Key Vault, it'll show up here as available certificates. But then you can choose which certificate you want to use. To enable Azure Firewall, go to application rules. To enable the firewall to actually start inspecting traffic, decrypting it, and looking inside the traffic, you have to use an application rule. And it's really simple, really. So when you click on this, any of these rules here, if we go and try to edit this rule here and look at it, all you have to do is hit this checkbox. And you can do for web categories. I've chosen 3 web categories here. And the web categories I've chosen, there is search engines, web repository, and storage, like things like Dropbox, things like that. So what I want to do is every time I go to a site like that, I want to intercept the traffic, kind of like a man-in-the-middle attack. I want to inspect the traffic, and these are the ports I'm inspecting it on. If I add more ports, it'll inspect on those ports, but by default, that's the port. And you want to inspect the traffic, so you want to make sure that the traffic going out is either, good traffic, no malware attached to it, or in some cases, you want to ensure that their traffic is not violating any of your corporate rules. So that's primarily the reasons customers use it for, we've seen in the past. So let's go ahead and look at a firewall and an endpoint and take a look at that and see what that looks like. So I'm here on a test machine. The test machine is behind this firewall. So let's go ahead and go to a couple of sites. So I'm going to go to, like I mentioned, search engines. I'll go to bing.com. As you can see here, it's a secure site. I'm still getting to go to bing.com. But if I click here on this padlock and drill into it, and then it says connection is secure. When I click on it, and then I click on the more details for the certificate, if I look here, it says issued by Azure Firewall Manager is my certificate authority. And look at the certificate path here. It says that the firewall is the certificate authority for this for bing.com. So now all my traffic to Bing or Dropbox will be inspected. So let's take a look and see if we try to send something bad across this, right? So let's do a curl HTTPS Dropbox.com. You get the certificate revocation thing. So it's with curl, there's one more command you have to enter in. That's revoke space. And so then it basically tells you, yep, this site's good, we got there. So it's a good site. Now if you try to go to another site, let's say we go to bing.com, you get more details there. about the header and things. And also, I wanted to show you this. If you go to a site that's not secure, right? So let's just go to Bing.com. So it's not falling under that rule that we have, which is, uh, to allow traffic and inspect it to search engines in 443. We will get a action denied, no rule match, because we don't have a rule for port 80. We only have a rule for port 443. So let's look at our Sentinel now, because one of the cool things about the Azure Firewall policy is it sends all its data directly to Azure Sentinel, and then we can look at workbooks for Azure Sentinel, and I have a workbook here for Azure Firewall. I'm going to click on this View Saved Workbook. There are multiple tabs here. You can look at different things. Today we're going to focus on IDPS because we're inspecting the traffic, and we're going to check to see if traffic going out is sending any malware. So if you have a machine that's infected. So the rule I'm looking for here, or the IDPS signature I'm looking for, is 2008983. So we go back to our firewall here, and I go to the IDPS, and I click on signature rules. I'm actually monitoring for that rule here, and I got a deny rule, right? And we have there's close to 55,000 rules that are by default added to this list. I just wanted to call this one out so I can actually view it and monitor it. So let's go back to our firewall here. Sentinel. And we can see here that here we have 5 hits for this particular malware, or the IDPS is picking up on that signature. So let's go back here, and now let's curl. It's called Black Sun is the IDPS signature that matches that number. So that's the kind of malware we're going to try and, or IDPS signature we're going to try and invoke. Maybe go to Bing.com. So just do Bing.com, should be fine. And let's curl that. And now you'll see it's just taking a while. What's happening now is there's a timeout that works with curl. So curl has sent a request, the firewall stopped it, and what we're going to have to do is wait for a few seconds, and we'll see that this times out. And then when this times out, we should see the firewall Sentinel, log also update and go from 5 to 6. So right now it's at 5. When we refresh this, it should go up to 6. So I'm going to pause the video for a second because this timeout usually takes a few seconds, and then we'll come back to it. So after a couple of minutes, we see that this is the command I ran earlier, and now we see that there was a timeout. So curl, the server did not respond. So let's go to the firewall, and here's where we had that the IPS signature ID that has 5. So if we refresh this, it should go up to 6 now, and there it is. It's up to 6. And so we have the SSL decryption working, and it's also monitoring it and keeping track of it. So these are all the different IPS codes that the firewall's catching. But if you wanted to test it, this would be one easy way to test it and ensure that your SSL decryption is working. One is just to go to the sites and check the certificate like we did, or another way would be to use curl and ensure that the firewall is really decrypting your traffic and inspecting the unencrypted traffic. So thanks again for watching, and hope you found this helpful.